Ford is a brand that's well known for its affordable quality, but so far in the electric area, it's actually released 3 SUVs and all of them are quite pricey. But now that's about to change. Ford's best-selling car in petrol form is the Puma. That took over from the Fiesta. Well, now there's an electric version called the Puma Gen-E, and we're about to take a preview look at it. But before we get down to the details, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. So there's not a lot externally to let you know that this is the electric version. The front looks fairly like an original petrol Puma. This grille, a lot of people have commented, is quite reminiscent of the Mustang Mach-E. You have different types of lights. This is the basic car, and there's another car over there we'll look at in a second that's got the premium trim. Obviously, no grille at the front for air intake. You don't need that with an electric car. Still that kind of aggressive look. What people liked about the Puma in the first place was the fact that it's a little bit of an SUV, because people like SUVs. It's not quite so low down on the ground, a bit of a higher riding point, so you're a little bit further off the ground, a bit better visibility. This is one of the reasons why it's sold so well. At launch, there are 2 versions of the Puma Gen-E available. This one on the right here is the basic car. This one on the left is the premium car, which has a bit more equipment. It's only £2,000 more expensive. Now, both cars have the same drivetrain. They have a 168 PS and a 43 kilowatt hour usable size battery. The standard car has a 17-inch alloy wheel, whereas the premium car comes with an 18-inch wheel. But both cars still have niceties like wireless smartphone integration and a central infotainment screen, which is 12.8 inches in diameter. Let's take a look inside this premium car. So pretty comfortable seats in this premium car. They're not electrically adjustable, they're mechanically adjustable. Standard steering wheel. So this one on the left is multifunction, it's for wipers and lights, and the one on the right is all the drive functions: reverse, drive, neutral is in the middle, and then on the end is a parking button. Quite a bit of space in this central console. You've got a little bit of cubby here with some kind of, you put some coins in there, a couple of cup holders, and actually kind of mini cup holder in the middle, maybe for a baby's tippy cup. Up front here you've got a bit more space. There's a wireless phone charger available, and underneath, I don't know if you can see that, there's maybe a space to put a small bag if you want to. Reasonably sized glove compartment. You could definitely put the whole family's gloves in there. So this is a family hatchback, and it's not particularly spacious here in the back. I'm 5'10", so pretty much bang on average size. I've got enough room above my head. If I was a couple of inches taller, maybe 6 foot, I'd probably be okay. But you can probably see that my knees are right up against the seat in front. This is quite far back. It's probably further back than I would have when I'm driving it. So this is more for young adults or kids in the back here, rather than carrying 2 large adults as well. This central seat is also pretty thin, so you're only going to really want to put a child in here, and the back doesn't come down to create armrests either. Rear seat passengers do get a couple of USB-C ports, and there's this 12-volt car power adapter, but there aren't any vents for people in the back, so they'll have to rely on the windows if they need ventilation. But they do get seat back pockets for your kids to put their copies of the history of the Model T, or whatever it is kids read these days. So this car, being the premium version, has a powered boot release. And there's quite a lot of space in here. So with just this here, there's actually 523 litres, which is quite a lot for a hatchback. And if you pull this up, you've got 574 litres, which is loads of space, enough for a large quantity of sweets for all the kiddies. Or if you don't need to lure children with sweets, you can fit quite a lot of different kinds of sports gear in this space underneath the boot floor. But if you drop these rear seats down, there's a 60-40 arrangement. This space, and it's quite flat as well, is 1,283 litres, which is a pretty large capacity for a hatchback. It's actually competitive in its class. So while the back seats are more for children than for adults, you can definitely go out for a major shop, or even go down to IKEA and get a reasonably sized piece of furniture and stick it at the back of this car. This car can also tow up to 750 kilograms, so probably not a caravan, but a small trailer would be okay. And of course, the electric boot closing system. So although this car is really intended to be a city car, it has a range that's just about okay for longer distances. It goes up to 233 miles for this basic car, and a bit lower, maybe about 5 miles lower in WLTP for the premium car with those larger wheels. So this car will charge a fairly modest 100 kilowatts, but since the battery is not that big, it only takes about 23 minutes to go from 10 to 80%. So basically enough range for loads of city driving and the daily commute. But for longer distance, you don't want to go too far with this car. Turn the car on with this power button here. So you've got a 12-inch instrument panel screen directly behind the steering wheel, very visible through the steering wheel, nice and clear, lots of information. And then you've got a 12.8 diameter infotainment screen. Now there aren't a lot of buttons here, but there are some useful ones. A volume control is pretty useful. You've got a demist button, and this one here calls up the driving modes. You can see there's normal, eco and slippery, which is probably useful in the UK. You'll notice that there's one pedal driving on this car as well, and propulsion sound, which is something that if you've ever driven a Mustang Mach-E, you'll enjoy the sense that you're pretending to be in a petrol car still. Now if we go through the other menu functions, get rid of that by pressing there. You can see that you get a map, you get the radio, you can add your phone settings here, you know, various things like different sounds, general settings, makes a beep, the temperature units. You'll notice that most of the air conditioning functions are actually on screen here, so you can go up. I've actually accidentally turned that on. It's going to make a lot of noise. Rear misting is here as well. Heated seats on this particular car, which is always nice to see. And if we go through and go back to the home again, click on the sat nav, you can load the full map. Nice sat nav, full screen, quite easy to see. Go back here, change car features. You've got the drive modes again, driver assistance. You can open the tailgate, look at the trip energy. Actually saying nothing here because this is a static car. So nice infotainment because it's fairly responsive as well. And this being a premium car, you also get a heated steering wheel, which is lovely in the winter. So this is a static display, and they won't let us take these for a drive just yet, so we'll have to come back to you with the overall driving impressions with a future video. But this car on paper can do 0 to 62 miles per hour in 8 seconds. That's not particularly fast by EV standards, but probably fast enough for a family hatchback that you're going to put your young kids in the back of. The big question, however, is this finally an affordable Ford electric car? Well, the good news is yes, sort of. This isn't an MG level of pricing. This car on the right, the standard car, is just a smidgen under 30 grand, and this premium trim version on the left is just a smidgen under 32 grand. So those are very affordable prices, but they're not as cheap as, say, an MG4 entry-level version. Still, this is a quality car, and we can't wait to take it for a full test drive in the future. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel.